Yeah.
So we'll run it again.
Wow.
And so now you welded another one.
That is
Again,
so
got the
incredible.
weld graph, so you got all the information there.
So who is your client basically? Is it all big, medium, small companies?
So yeah, I mean, from a medical side, right? We work with all the big medical guys. I would say 80% of our business is automotive. So we're working with GM, Ford,
Right.
Tesla, Honda,
Right.
you name them. We work with a lot of machine builders because when you get into the automotive world, they don't just have a one-up application.
Right.
They have, hey, here's a door panel with 50 locations that need that weld. So we're putting 50 actuators, 50 cylinders, 50 horns with maybe a handful of power supplies to be able to weld those. So
Right.
we like to target the big end users of the product, but ultimately they buy from the smaller places that sell the machines, the equipment.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I mean, any big name you can think of, we're targeting.
That's really incredible.
Yeah, any thermoplastic, any molder, that's who we're after.
Awesome.
Yeah, once you get into like, we can't weld Teflons.
Right.
In the
Not
packaging
yet.
world, not well. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't like it. When you get into packaging, like you see there,
Right.
that's going to be biodegradable materials.
Got it.
So we can do regular PETs, any thermoplastics there, but where heat will burn a biodegradable bag, where ultrasonics can still seal it. Heat will also burn if you have we'll call it a contaminant.
Sure.
So let's say salt or liquid. You know, when we do bags of milk, we can seal straight through the milk.
Right.
We don't have to separate them. So it allows you to have less material
Right.
in your bag, right? When you have to worry about sealing through something, that's why bags are so big and they're so empty.
Right.
Like when you open your chip bag, there's so much gap in there, right?
Right.
That's because they have to worry, is there something in between that seal?
Right.
And the heat won't seal through it. When you get into ultrasonics, you can seal right through it.
Right.
More, there's a little more cost associated with that,
Sure.
but you have the tracking. So,
Right. Wow. So are you a startup or you're a big company? What's the size of your company?
So Telsonic is out of Switzerland.
Got it.
I would say out of the U.S., we're based in Michigan. So so Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
We're about a 50-person operation. Roughly, we handle Canada, all the U.S. and Mexico out of that subsidiary.
Wow.
But there's subsidiaries in China, Germany, headquarters in Switzerland. We also have, I mean, gosh, there's maybe 15 different subsidiaries around the world.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you're alone. Your Detroit subsidiary
Yep.
fills basically all North America pretty much.
All North America. Yep. We have our own engineering services.
Wow.
We do work obviously hand in hand with headquarters. So when we have special applications, maybe let's call it a packaging application.
Sure.
It's kind of a one-off. We haven't done it. We obviously work hand in hand with them.
Right.
Horn design. That's the only thing we don't do. Horn design will happen over in headquarters in Switzerland. They have a larger engineering. That's where product development happens. We don't do product development.
Right.
We do, we do have our own service techs. We do our own engineering to an extent. But yeah, if there's a new product coming out, it came from headquarters in Switzerland.
Wow. That's awesome. Now, we also edit this out if we want to edit it out, but I'm curious just for our own sake. So we're here with a bunch of new grad engineers showcasing companies today, what you're working on, and if they're interested in applying, they can learn about your company. Any advice for new grads interested in this kind of company?
Yeah,
what are you looking for today? What kind of roles are you looking for? People you would kind of want to hire if you were to hire at all?
Yeah, we're always looking to hire, right? I mean, just like anybody is, right?
Right.
The big thing, a lot of people would call it a sales and service company.
Got it.
I like to switch that around when we're talking about Telsonic, because a sale means nothing if you don't service it on the end.
Exactly.
And
the full solution, basically.
Correct. And that's something, anybody could sell this horn to you.
Right.
But it's when there's an issue, when there needs to be downline support. That's really what I like to tell anybody that's getting in the trade. Like, I have younger siblings that are starting to get into the business. And I'm like, you have to understand, a sale doesn't mean anything. Just because I sold this to you, great. Right. It's about the relationship, because you're going to have another project and another project, and you're just going to constantly come to me if I'm making sure you're always got what you need.
Right.
And when you have a problem, I answer.
Right.
But I feel like that's dying.
Right.
is they just want to make the sale and walk away and go to the next guy and make
Right.
another $50,000 sale
Right.
or whatever it might
Right.
be.
Right.
It's making sure that the sale was good, but also the equipment afterwards is still serviced and supported. So
Right.
that's something we live and die by. I would say that's our motto is we are a service and a sales company, not a
Right.
sales and service company.
Right. So you want people basically want to obviously help sell more, but more importantly, sell deeply in the organization and say, we sold you once, but we're also going to be there for the long
Yeah,
term.
I want the relationship.
Exactly.
I could care less about the single sale.
Exactly.
I want the company to company relationship. If you're a $20,000 company a year or a $2 million company a year, I'm going to handle you the same way.
Right. Right.
And I just feel like people have lost that. Not everybody, but it's just back.
Right.
There's
It's a very
there's
rare skill to have.
exactly there's a lot of huge names now that have just grown so fast, and when you grow fast and you don't have the back end support, well, that is tough, right?
Exactly.
I mean, and I'm not talking about our industry. I'm talking any industry, right? You're talking the pneumatics industry, any industry you get in.
Even software.
These companies, yeah, software is a great example. They
Right.
grow so fast,
Right.
and then they can't support everything they sold,
Right.
and that just creates a really bad name where
Right.
we would rather grow steadily and continue to build on our team to be able to handle what we have in the field.
Right.
And
Right.
so from our side, we want people that want relationships, not just sales.
And do you ever hire engineers to get into sales, or mostly the business backgrounds?
So I came the opposite way. I was an engineer first.
Got it. I can tell, honestly.
No, so I worked for a really large automotive tier one.
Got it.
Before I came into here.
Right.
But and that was more for travel reasons and purposes like that.
Right.
But I would say if you have the technical background first, it makes sales easy.
Yes.
In my mind.
Right.
Because when I talk to somebody that needs something, well, here's a solution, right? We can create the solution.
Right.
When you go the other way around, it's just you can make
really
the sale.
hard.
But yeah, I like to go into the shop,
Right.
get dirty, use some
Right.
tools. So
Right. You always have to. Right.
You create your name for yourself, right? They go, oh wow, I didn't think you had a toolbox, right? Like,
right.
So I don't know. There's two routes to go, right? You either jump right into the sales side and you run with it, or you go mechanical first and figure out how the product works.
Right.
But if you've seen our engineering staff, they are sales guys without even realizing they're sales guys.
Yes. Yeah.
So I bring somebody in to meet one of my designers.
Yeah.
They all have a sales mentality without them even thinking they do, because that's what we try to empower them to do. If you know the product, you've worked with the product, well then sales, you're not even really selling with it. You're selling without knowing it.
Right. Exactly.
And it's funny when you talk to them, they'll say the same thing. I'm not a sales guy.
Right.
No, you actually really are a great sales guy.
Right.
You just don't think, you don't write the number on the paper and get handed
The
it.
deep knowledge of the product makes sales really easy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Whereas if you don't have that knowledge, it makes sales an effort, and a very obvious effort. People can tell you're
Yes.
selling.
Oh yeah. I would agree. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so like in the machine world, you meet some of the machine builders.
Right.
They're all over here.
Right.
The good ones that you meet, the good sales guys you meet, are the guys that actually built the machines first.
Yes.
Right? Let's say they started the shop in their garage.
Right.
Those are the best. Those are the guys I really enjoy working with, because when you have a solution or a product, you're like, I need a solution for this. They're like, oh yeah, let's come up with one right now, and they'll just start drawing it for you. And you're like, wow, I've actually never seen somebody draw. That's a dying trade as well. Like everything's on a computer now. So.
Right. Deep knowledge, hands-on experience,
Yeah.
and serving the customer are kind of core values in your mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's how we built the business to where it is.
Exactly.
Everybody wears.
Right.
Everybody wears 10 hats.
Right.
You're not going to get paid for all 10 hats, but you have to be able to wear them.
Right.
You have to take them off and put them on, and it depends on what you're walking into to know what hat you need on.
I love that. CJ, it was a pleasure.
No, it was great meeting you guys.
Thank you.